I'm the night guy. How cool is that?
You're the night guy. You know how cool it is for me to say, yeah, coming up later tonight, Nikki's got a bunch of stuff going on. You have some great guests on your show, man. I'm jealous.
Yeah, we've had a blast so far. You know, we're just getting started. We've had Ozzy. We have Dave Grohl, obviously, from them Crooked Vultures and Foo Fighters and Nirvana. Rob Zombie was on. We were talking about everything from shoveling snow to making bloody horror movies and music. And like tonight we have Neil Zlozauer on, who, if you're not familiar with Neil, he's a legendary rock photographer. It's done everybody from the Stones and Led Zeppelin. And we've had some misadventures together in our 20-year relationship that we talk about. Pretty exciting. He's done a lot of the Motley Crue photo sessions that are really famous.
Oh man, I could the stories that guy could tell, right?
Yeah. Oh, and he does.
He does too. Well, you know, I got to tell you, I usually when I read a book, it takes me, you know, it can be a small, thin little book, and it takes me about, I don't know, a month or so by the time I get done with it. The Heroin Diaries, by the way, I kept it, and I get through it in like a couple of days because I couldn't put the damn thing down.
You know, I've heard that from so many people. I think there's a few things. One is the fact that being in a diary form, it's so honest because I didn't edit it. So whatever I was writing while I was going through it is what you got to read. So you got to be in the experience. I mean, it's as close to being a drug addict as, you know, hopefully you'll ever get.
Yeah.
And also the recovery out of that and my awareness that came out of it. And I think that is what took a lot of people on the journey, like you, that kept them really engaged. But at the same time, I think the end result of it was for people to sort of, you know, open their eyes and see, you know, how grateful they should and can be for what they have going on in their life. Because even, you know, somebody that was in the state I was in 20 years ago, addicted to heroin, but also, you know, very extremely successful, selling out arenas and stadiums around the world. And I was groveling in self-pity about my childhood, you know,
Right.
My father leaving me, my mother being a mess. And the truth is, you know, you just got to get over that stuff, man. You got to move on. And the only way to move on is to face it. And I wasn't facing it through addiction, but I did face it in recovery.
Yeah, and when you read through the book, which, by the way, is not just the words about this book, like you were saying, when you hold this thing, okay, when you look through the pages, and if nobody's ever seen this book, when you look through the pages, it looks like you're holding a totally different book when you open it, because it's designed in such a way, which I've never seen happen in a book before, man. It's designed in such a way that it makes you look like you're actually holding Nikki's diary.
Well, and the other thing was it was really important to create a soundtrack to that book.
Right.
And that's what we did with 6 a.m. And obviously most people out there know the song Life is Beautiful. And,
sure.
You know, it's so successful. And the fact that we do talk in that song about being down in the blood and the guts of it, but we also talk about opening your eyes and seeing that life is beautiful. I think it gave people hope on a lot of different levels, whether it was in relationships or in their work or everyday life, or if they were, you know, dealing with some kind of addiction or recovery. So I think we really, really, really touched people on a multiple levels, and that's what we're doing right now. Is I'm finishing up a book right now that deals with, let's just say one of the words would be institutions and photography and music. And if you'll never understand how deep this book is until you get it in your hands, but it brought me to my knees when I was writing it.
You know, 20 years ago, did you ever think you'd be writing not just one New York bestseller, but a possible second one?
Yeah, you know what? I've always wanted to write. I actually have a book of poetry that was called Education and Rebellion, and then recently somebody wrote an autobiography on me and had taken my title and actually used it. I have poetry, I have short stories. I want to do a 10-series short novel that is all, let's just say it's very bloody. But for me to write, 10 novels and have them all tied together through one or two characters, that's the kind of stuff I want to do. Is, you know, I'm doing radio now. I love doing radio. I love talking to all the artists, listening to all the music, the new music, the classics, and, you know, writing, creating, stuff with my photography, getting my photography into galleries. You know, one of the to me as an artist, this is all art.
Mm-hmm.
None of it's about money. It's all about art. It's just create, jam, talk. One of the coolest guys we had on the other day was Anthony Zeiker, and he just recently wrote a book called Dark Origins, and he's famous for creating CSI. And I'm getting to meet such interesting people and then have relationships with them afterwards where we can create stuff and do stuff. So this is it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's like you are on the other side now. I mean, you used to be the guy, everybody, not used to be, you still are, obviously, with 6 a.m. and the crew still. But, I mean, now you're kind of on the other side of it, too. You're playing other people's music, and not just being the guy that people play.
Right. I mean, you want to do both.
Right.
I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of music, so why would I not be listening to it constantly?
So what were you influenced by? Like, you're 17 years old when you first started with the crew, right? Is that
Mott the Hoople, Slade, Sweet, Bowie, Dead End Kids, Sex Pistols, Ramones, AC/DC,
right.
Queen. A mess. You put T-Rex on, and then you put Black Sabbath on, and then you smoke a big joint and drink a beer, and
That's
you're a
right.
teenager, and you figure out you figure out how to destroy the world.
How are you getting this all done, man? Because look, you've got the clothing stuff, you got the book, you're writing the book, you still